Good morning, students. Welcome to 7th Standard Social Science, Term 3, Geography, 3rd Unit, Natural Hazards, Understanding of Disaster Management in Practice. So, children, listen carefully to this session, and in case of any doubts, make a note of it, which shall be clarified on the day of reopening. So, now let's enter into today's topic. So every day, almost every day, in all the newspapers and television news channels, it carries reports on natural hazards and disasters that occurred in several parts of the world. So every day, we can see some news regarding the disaster which occur in several parts of the world. Neither all the hazards nor all the disaster can be preventable, but the destruction can be minimized. So we can't prevent such natural hazards, but we can minimize the risk of it. So for better understanding, first we have to know the definition of hazard. So a hazard is a dangerous phenomena or substance or human activity or condition that may cause loss of life, injury, health impacts, property damage, loss of livelihoods, services, social and economic disruption or environmental damage. So hazard is a dangerous condition where everything will be affected. The life or some person will get injured, health impact, loss of their livelihood, service, social and economic disruption in the society. And also, natural hazards are natural phenomenon that might have negative impact on the human or the environment. So natural hazards are the disaster which is caused by the nature, like tsunami or flood, like that. So natural hazards are classified into two categories. One is geophysical hazard and next one is biological hazard. So the natural hazards can be classified into two. One is geophysical, other one is biological hazards. So now let's see the definition for a disaster. A disaster can be generally defined as a serious disruption in the society causing widespread material, economic, social or environmental losses which exceed the ability of the affected society to cope using its own resources. So disaster means a disruption or a distraction in the society based on the material, economic, social and environmental status. So it is a kind of hazard. And also, hazards are termed as disaster when they cause widespread destruction of property and human lives. So hazards are termed as disaster when the loss is more, when it causes a widespread destruction of property as well as human lives. So one example of a disaster is hurricane. So hurricane is a natural hazard. It develops at sea. When it reaches land and destroys buildings and kills people, it can be described as a disaster. So hurricane is a hazard. It is a natural hazard. It is developed at sea. When it comes to the land and kills the people and it creates loss means then it terms as disaster. So now let's see the different types of disaster. The different types of disaster. So first one is the natural disaster. That is beneath the earth's surface we can have earthquakes. Next one is tsunamis and volcanic eruptions. All these disasters occur beneath the earth's surface. And next one is on the earth's surface we have landslide and then avalanches. Avalanches means movement of ice. And next one is meteorological or hydrological disaster. First one is windstorm. Next is tornadoes. Next one is hailstorms. Next one is flood. And also man-made disasters, so created by humans. Terrorism, bomb blast, war, accidents, civil disorders. All these are created by human beings, hence it is called man-made disaster. So now let's see the definition of natural disaster or natural hazard. These are the results of natural processes and a man has no role to play in such hazards. So man is not responsible for natural hazards and it is not preventable. So one such natural hazard is earthquake. So first let's see about the natural disaster. First one is earthquakes. So let's see the definition of earthquake. A sudden movement or trembling of the earth crust is called as earthquake. The movement of the tectonic plates, mass wasting, landslides, surface fault, etc. causes earthquakes. So earthquake means a sudden movement of the earth tectonic plates. So that is called earthquake. So let's see the effects during the earthquake. So due to the strong earthquake, many lives are lost. The buildings, roads, bridges and dams are damaged due to the earthquake. And also the recent hazard in India and Tamil Nadu, let's see it. First one is on 2nd to 3rd May 2018, a high velocity dust storms swept across the parts of North India and more than 125 people died and over 200 were injured. That is, on 2nd to 3rd May 2018, a high velocity dust storm, as you see in the picture, it came in North India. More than 125 people died and 200 people were injured. And next one is in Uttar Pradesh, 43 died in the city of Agra and about 30 died in other parts of the state. And also in neighborhood of Rajasthan state, 35 people died and over 200 were injured. So this is the recent hazard in India as well as in Tamil Nadu. So these are all the recent hazards in India and Tamil Nadu which created a lot of disruption in the people's life and economic status. And then tsunami, after 2004 tsunami, the cyclone Gaja is the worst natural disaster to hit the Tamil Nadu. I hope everyone remember this. Cyclone Gaja is the worst natural disaster to hit the Tamil Nadu after 2004 tsunami. So this destruction occurred in several coastal districts and took a toll on agriculture to a serious extent. So these are all the examples of hazards which we experienced. So because of these natural disasters, many agricultural work will be collapsed and also many buildings will be collapsed. So the effect will be very serious. So now let's see another natural disaster, that is tsunami. So first let's see the definition for this. When earthquake jolts the ocean floor, the sudden dislocation of the sea bed occurs and the resulting displacement of water can produce one or more huge destructive waves known as collectively tsunami. So when earthquake occurs below the sea, then the waves, the frequency of waves will be very high. So hence it is termed as tsunami. So the sea waves rise to several meters and they may reach the coast within a few minutes. And also the word tsunami is derived from the Japanese word su, means harbor, and nami means waves. The word tsunami is derived from the natural Japanese word called su. Su means harbor and nami means waves. Harbor, it is also called huge waves. So it causes floodings and also it disrupts the transportation, power, communication and water supply. So the main effect of tsunami is it causes flood and also it gives disturbance in the transportation, power, communication as well as water supply. So now let's see the next natural disaster, that is floods. So let's see the definition of flood and the effects of flood. So first is sudden overflow of water in a large amount. So flood means sudden overflow of water in a large amount which is caused due to heavy rainfall. The flood, main reason for flood is heavy rainfall, and also the cyclones, the tropical cyclones. Then melting of snow. The melting of snow can cause flood as well as tsunami or a dam burst. So these may result in flood. So the effects of flood is loss of life and property. Because of that, the people will migrate to some other place, displacement of people, and the spread of some contagious diseases. Diseases may spread such as cholera and malaria. So these are all the effects of flood. So now let's see about cyclonic storms or about cyclones. It is also a natural disaster. So the definition for a cyclone is a low pressure area which is encircled by high pressure wind is called cyclone. So the low pressure area which is occupied by a high pressure wind is termed as cyclone. So now let's see the effects of cyclone. So the main effect of tropical cyclone include heavy rain, strong wind, large storm surges near landfall and tornadoes. So the main effect of cyclone is heavy rain, strong wind and large storm surges which may result in tornadoes. A severe cyclonic storm named Gaja. So a severe cyclonic storm named Gaja, it crossed the coast of Tamil Nadu and Puducherry around Vedaranyam and Nagapattinam in the early hours of November 10, 2018, Friday. I hope everyone remember this cyclonic storm Gaja. So this cyclonic storm, it crossed with the wind speed of around 120 km per hour reported by the Indian Meteorological Department. So this is a recent natural severe cyclonic storm. Now we experience Varda. I hope everyone remember that. So next one is man-made disaster. So man-made disaster are the disaster which is created by human beings. So these are caused by undesirable activities of humans. So because of humans, these disasters may occur. One example is accidents. So let's see some examples. First one is stampede. So stampede is a term for a sudden rush of crowd of people. So the term stampede means sudden rush of a crowd of people, usually resulting in injuries and death from suffocation and trampling. So stampede means sudden rushing of a crowd of people which may result in some injuries and death due to suffocation in breath. And it is believed that most of the major crowd disaster can be prevented by simple crowd management strategies. So human stampedes can be prevented by organizing a traffic control, organizing a best traffic control such as barriers and also following the cues. So following the cues is the best prevention for stampede. So we have to go in a queue or go in a line. And also by avoiding mass gatherings. So avoiding mass gathering is also a best prevention for stampede. So now let's see another man-made disaster, that is fire. So fire is also a man-made disaster. So let's see it. Fire is a disaster caused due to electrical short circuit. It may be caused due to the electrical short circuit or some accidents in chemical factory or some crackers industry, matchbox or crackers industry. So the fire involves three basic aspects. So fire involves three basic aspects. First one is prevention, second one is detection and third one is extinguishing. So these are all the three basic aspects of fire. First, we have to prevent. We should not get short circuit like that. We have to prevent. Next one is, if in case we fail to prevent, we must detect the fire accident first. And next one is extinguishing. Extinguishing means we have to put off the fire. So these are the three basic steps involved in fire. And also forest fires. So forest fires mostly occur in the hilly regions. And also the fire accidents in the factories. So these are the effects of fire. So next one is industrial disaster. So let's see about the industrial disaster. Industry faces multiple risks involved with its production, transportation, storage, usage and disposal of the effluents containing residuals and hazardous material from the nuclear and chemical industries. So, the emissions from the vehicles and industries are very dangerous. So, it pollutes the air. So, industries has various risks at every stages. Starting from the production to the distribution, it has various risks. And also, the hazardous materials or the hazardous waste which are disposed in the environment, it causes pollutions. So one such example of industrial disaster is the Bhopal gas leakage which occurred on December 3rd, 1984. So one such example of industrial disaster is the Bhopal gas tragedy which occurred on December 3rd, 1984. So now let's see what is disaster management, how we can handle a disaster. So let's see what is disaster management. The systematic process of applying administrative directives, organizations and operational skills and capacities to implement strategies, policies and improve coping capacities in order to lessen the adverse effects of hazard and the possibility of disaster is called disaster management. So, disaster management means framing from policies or taking some steps by the government side as well as by the people side in order to reduce the impact of the disaster. So, that is called disaster management. Impact means effect of the disaster. So, now let's see. Disaster management has several stages. So, let's see the stages. For example, these stages are the environmental aspects, strategies and tools that need to be considered at every stage of the disaster cycle. So there is a disaster cycle with several stages where each stage has its unique role and function. So let's see it. So this is the disaster cycle. So this is a disaster cycle. There are 6 phases. Okay, the 6 disaster management phases have been depicted in this cycle. So here this side is pre-disaster and risk reductions phase and this side is post-disaster recovery phase. So let's see it. First one is preparedness, mitigation, prevention, response, recovery and development. So the preparedness, mitigation and prevention comes under pre-disaster risk reduction phase, whereas response, recovery and development comes under post-disaster, and here the disaster will occur in the middle of disaster, pre and post. So first let's see about the prevention and mitigation. So prevention and mitigation comes under pre-disaster phase. Reducing the risk of disasters involves activities which either reduce or modify the scale and intensity of the threat faced or by improving the conditions of elements at risk. So prevention means we have to reduce the risk. By knowing the upcoming disaster, we have to reduce the risk and produce proper mitigation. Mitigation means we have to choose a proper place where the disaster impact will be less. And also, in addition, mitigation means it embraces all the measures taken to reduce both the effects of hazards itself and the vulnerable condition to it in order to reduce the scale of a future disaster. So, mitigation means once we know about the upcoming hazard, we have to choose a place where the disaster impact will be less. So that is called mitigation. So in addition to these physical measures, mitigation also be aimed at reducing the physical, economic and social vulnerability to threat and the underlying causes for this vulnerability. So next we can see about preparedness. So once we prevent, next one is preparedness. For example, natural disaster and all, we can't prevent it. So it is occurring naturally. For that we need to be prepared. Man-made disaster, we can prevent it. For example, fire accident, everything we can prevent. But in case of natural disaster, we can't prevent. But for that we can have preparedness. So this process includes various measures that enable the governments, communities and individuals to respond rapidly to the disaster situation to cope with them effectively. So preparedness includes emergency plans. So the government will put some emergency plans, or it will create some public awareness. It will create some public awareness and also some warning system. So these warning system will provide signal about the upcoming disaster and also the public awareness. So the public awareness, it creates some awareness within the people and also the training of the personnel and the proper mitigations. So once they are aware about that, they need to switch over the place. So these are all the preparedness. It comes under preparedness. And next one is early warning. So early warning means after knowing the signal, after getting the signal, we have to warn the public. So this is the process of monitoring the situation in communities or areas known to vulnerable to slow onset hazards and passing the knowledge of the pending hazard to people harmless way. So early warning means giving signal or giving information to the people about the upcoming hazard. And also, to be effective, warnings must be related to mass education. So warning must be provided to mass education, means it should be told in the news like that. So now let's see the disaster impact. So what are the disaster effect? So this refers to the real-time event of hazards, occurrence and affecting the elements at risk. So this refers to the real-time event of the hazard occurrence and affecting the elements at risk, and also the duration of the event will depend on the type of threat. Ground shaking may only occur in the matter of seconds during an earthquake. So the duration of the event, it depends upon the disaster. In case of earthquake, it happens within few seconds. Whereas flood, so the flood may take over a long sustained period. So earthquake may occurs within few seconds, whereas flood, it takes a long sustained period. So that is disaster impact. Depends upon the disaster, the effect will be. Next one is during the disaster phase. So at the time of disaster, what we have to do is response. At the time of disaster, response is the first stage. So this refers to the first stage, response to any calamity. So response to any calamity is the first stage. So how we can respond? So the government will take steps like setting up the control rooms. So it will set up the control rooms and putting some contingency plans, that is putting some emergency plans in action, and also it will issue the warning to the people about the hazard. And next one is proper evacuation plan. So evacuation means moving to the low risk area, moving to the places having low risk of disaster. And next one is moving the people to safer areas and rendering medical aid to the needy, and also providing food, drinking water and clothing. And next one is immediate relief, rescue and the damage needs assessments and debris clearance. So once during the disaster phase, immediately they will send the relief team, rescue team, and also the debris will be cleared. So all the damaged things will be cleared. So these are all the activities which take place during the disaster phase. Next, we are going to see about the post-disaster phase. That is, after the disaster, what all will take place. So, first one is recovery. So, after the disaster, first one is recovery. So, recovery is used to describe the activities that encompass the three overlapping phases of emergency relief, rehabilitation and reconstruction. So, recovery means you have to recover from everything. We have to recover from the losses. So, that is called recovery. For example, it is a relief. So, recovery means it is a relief from everything. Next one is rehabilitation. So, rehabilitation includes the provision of temporary public utilities and housing as in turn measures to assist long-term recovery. So, rehabilitation means providing the shelter to the homeless, providing the shelter to the people who lost their homes. So, that is called rehabilitation. So, this is one example of rehabilitation, providing food, shelter, everything comes under this phase. Next one is reconstruction. So, reconstructions attempts to return the communities with improved pre-disaster functioning. So, it includes the replacement of buildings, infrastructures and lifeline facilities. So, reconstruction includes replacement of buildings as well as infrastructure and lifeline facilities. So, replacement of everything after the disaster. Next phase is development phase. The next post-disaster phase is development phase. We have to develop our economy from the losses. So, in an evolving economy, the development process is an ongoing activity. So, long-term prevention or disaster reduction measures like construction of embankments. So, construction of embankments against flooding and also irrigation facilities as drought-proofing measures and increasing the plant cover to reduce the occurrence of landslide and land use planning as well as construction of houses capable of withstanding the heavy rain or wind or the earthquakes are some of the activities that can be taken up as a part of development plan. So, these are all the activities which can be done in the development plan. So, now let's see why mitigating the hazards is essential. So, why it is essential to mitigate the hazard? It is more cost effective to mitigate the risk from natural disaster than to repair damage after the disaster. So, it is very expensive to mitigate the risk than the damage repair. So, hazard mitigation refers to any action or project that reduces the effects of future disaster. So, mitigation means it is a project or an action that reduces the risk of the disaster. So, now let's move on to warning system in India. So, what are the kinds of warning system in India? So, first one is Department of Science and Technology, that is DST. DST means Departments of Science and Technology and DOS means Department of Space and also CSIR. CSIR laboratories have set up early warning system for tsunami and storm surges in Indian Ocean. So, these kinds of department, they have the early warning system to get the signal of upcoming tsunami or storm in order to alert the people. And next one is disaster management in India. The National Disaster Management Authority, abbreviated as NDMA. So, National Disaster Management Authority is abbreviated as NDMA, is an agency of the Ministry of Home Affairs whose primary purpose is to coordinate response to natural or man-made disaster and for capacity building in disaster resiliency and crisis response. So, this is a authority which work to reduce the risk of the disaster. And also, NDMA was established through the Disaster Management Act enacted by the Government of India on 23rd December 2005. So, this authority was created or established in India on 23rd December 2005. And next important authority is the National Disaster Response Force. Next one is the National Disaster Response Force, that is NDRF, is a specialized force constituted for the purpose of specialist response to a threatening disaster situation or disaster under the Disaster Management Act of 2005. It is also an specialized force which is used to treat the threats of the disaster. It is also created on 2005. Next one is the National Institute of Disaster Management, that is NIDM, means National Institute of Disaster Management. So it is a premier institute for training and capacity development programs for managing natural disasters in India on a national as well as regional basis. So it is a institute which provide training in order to cope up the natural disaster in India as well as state level. So now let's see disaster management in Tamil Nadu. So the Tamil Nadu State Disaster Management Authority, that is TNSDMA, that means Tamil Nadu State Disaster Management Authority, is responsible for all measures for mitigation, preparedness, response and recovery are undertaken under the guidance and supervision of the authority. So the Tamil Nadu State Disaster Management Authority, it works at the Tamil Nadu state level and it provides all the steps starting from mitigation to recovery. Everything will be provided by this authority. And next one is Tamil Nadu State Disaster Response Force, that is SDRF. Tamil Nadu State Disaster Response Force has been constituted with the strength of 80 police personnel, and these 80 police personnel have been trained in disaster management and rescue operation in consultation with National Disaster Response Force. So it is a special force which consists of 80 police personnel who have been trained under National Disaster Response Force. And next one is DDMA. So DDMA means District Disaster Management Authority, is responsible for disaster management at district level. So at district level there is one authority called District Disaster Management Authority. And also the State Disaster Management Plan. So it is a perspective plan of 2018 to 2030 prepared by the Revenue and Disaster Management Department. So it is a plan mainly for disaster management which is prepared for the time period of 2018 to 2030. So now let's see some general survival techniques. So how we can survive through these kinds of natural and man-made hazards. First one is during the earthquake, be under the table, chair or kneel to the floor and protect yourself, and go near a sturdy wall or sit on the floor and hold the floor strongly to protect yourself. So during the earthquake, we have to be under a table or chair or kneel to the floor and we have to stick on to the floor very strongly. And next one is use only torch lights. So use only torch lights, no lamp lights and all. It may cause some fire accidents. And next one is during the flood forecast, store up necessary things like first aid and listen to the local radio or TV for instructions. Cut off all the electrical supplies during the flood and earthquake. And in case of fire accidents, dial 101 for fire service. And if clothes are on fire, don't be panic and don't run. Stop, drop and roll. If you catch fire, don't be panic. Stop, drop and roll. And next one is road accidents can be avoided by permitting the persons only who have license are allowed to drive, and learn, preach and practice safety rules during walking and driving along the road. And also some rail safety tips like stay alert, trains can come from either directions at any time, and also never sit on the edge of the station platform, and also cross the railway tracks safely. And while boarding the aircraft, pay attention to the flight crew safety demonstration and read the safety briefing card available in the seat pocket carefully. So these are all the safety measures which we need to follow while traveling. So we have come to an end of today's session. So refer your textbook. Today's topic are covered from page number 172 to 179, and with this video natural hazards unit is completed. So now it's time for questions. So let's see some evaluation questions, and in case of any doubts go through the whole session video once again, or else you can refer your textbook. So first question, so let's see the questions. So first one, define hazard. Second one, what is disaster? Third one, what are the 6 concepts of disaster management cycle? Fourth one, name any 2 agencies which involves in the warning system of Tamil Nadu, and write about any 3 effects of flood. So children, try to answer all these questions in the notebook which you are maintaining for social science. So with this video, natural hazards and the disaster management lesson is completed. Thank you.